everybody. Welcome to Life Uncommon. We are here live in the studios of Plus TV. My name is Andrea Rodriguez.
And I'm Alida Sharp, and we are very excited to be with you this September morning.
Yeah. So at the 12th of September?
Yes. Well, you know, the holiday always makes me lose a day, so it's the 12th.
Yeah. Think so. Yep. Yeah, it was a long weekend, and lots of stuff happened over the weekend.
Yes, lots of excitement.
My goodness. Yes. And I know it's just a crazy time. I feel like there's hurricanes hitting all over the place. There's floods. I think we had mentioned, or you had mentioned last week about, was it India?
Yes, India, Bangladesh, Nepal. It's monsoon season there, so they've had flooding.
Yeah,
and there's like 16 million children that have been affected by the homes and schools and everything.
And then the islands that got hit by Irma. Oh wow!
Yes.
It's been crazy. And then locally here, we're enjoying great weather, but still acting all crazy like a storm. I'm trying to hold my tongue right and be kind, but I know everybody saw the whole fiasco. I don't have a better word for what happened on the 10th at the ceremony and the whole Queen of the Day thing.
On live TV, national TV it happened.
Yeah. And playing out on social media as well.
Yes.
And
oh my goodness.
It seems like almost everybody had an opinion.
I know. And I told you last night that my neck was hurting because I was doing a lot of shaking my head. Because, there are a lot of opinions, and you hear one side and you can kind of agree with that, and you hear another side and you can kind of agree with that. So it just leaves you,
Yeah. I just think that in hindsight, I'm sure they realize, we messed up. We could have done things differently.
Yeah.
And, but that does not take away from, I think, the trauma, the embarrassment that these young ladies had to go through. And it will blow over in a while, but they will always have, this year will always have a little scar, a mark on it to say, okay, there was two queens that was crowned. And I don't know if we will ever really know, we on the outside will ever really know what really went on behind the scenes and stuff like that. But what we saw was just really, really unacceptable.
Definitely. And even I was thinking as you were talking, my husband used to do a lot of marriage counseling, and one of the things he would say is you can't argue perspective. How you see something from your own perspective, that's how you see it. And that's what has been playing out over this weekend. Everyone has a perspective that they experience this from, even those on the inside. They each have their own perspective. And so to argue perspective, you'll never get to the bottom of it. You'll never get the answer. Because it's all about the perspective of the people that were involved.
Yep. And I've heard a lot of people saying that they would never, after what happened, they would never allow their daughters to enter a pageant. And I don't blame them. So I'm really hoping that the committee and those behind it will make changes to avoid, so that they can avoid this happening again. Because now I think all of the contestants have a right now to say, well, I want my scores to be revisited. What about those girls from the past years, wondering if they got cheated out too, because that's what it felt like to me, that Orange Rock felt that they were cheated out of the crown, right? And so it's just a mess, and I feel like social media makes it messier.
Yes, it does, because everyone has to weigh in with their opinion, because part of the drama comes in the comments.
Yep. And I tried to avoid reading comments on controversial posts, because it's amazing how empowered people feel behind a keyboard.
Yeah, that's
and-
true.
or a phone or whatever they're using, and it drives me nuts. And so before I lose it, I'm just like, I'm not reading, but I'm not reading.
I read them all.
But I've read this time. I actually read a lot of the comments because I really wanted to hear what people were thinking and saying.
Yeah.
And I think for the first time I've seen an overall consensus that everybody, or those who were commenting, felt it was one thing. It was unacceptable. It was a shame. It was a disgrace.
It was.
Those were the words that I saw.
It was.
And there's no way around that. And it's quite unfortunate. And I just wish both young ladies, all the best. And I hope that they can use this as a stepping stone and, do great things and do not allow it to be something that will hold them back.
Right,
So.
right. Because there is something to be learned from everybody, through this process. But you're right. I feel like a day that should have been an incredible memory, is tainted.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I can't imagine how Miss Stan Creek, the reigning queen of the Bay, feels now with her. There's still this thing out there that, well, you're not the rightful queen.
Right.
You weren't supposed to win. And, I can't imagine how that makes her feel and how Miss Orange Rock feels with hearing, well, you are supposed to be the queen.
Right,
And,
right.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, like you said.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
So that's all I'm going to say about that for right now.
Yeah. But confronting challenges.
Yes. Yes, that's a new one. We wanted today to be an open discussion, and we wanted to hear from you, our viewers, your thoughts and how you're feeling this September and all the stuff that's going on. And we will be talking about ways that we can make a difference today, and so we would love to hear your thoughts on that. So feel free to text us or call and just let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah, or you can go to our Facebook page and leave some comments there, or inbox us. Just comment, ask questions, let us know what you think.
Yeah. So we wanted to look at 5 ways, but I think we may have more than 5 ways to make a difference. And it really, I think, came from just looking at all the stuff that's been happening locally. And there was a post that was circulating, I think I saw it last night, and it was from the Senator Valerie Woods, and it was titled "An Angry Woman," and she was talking about how we're not angry enough, about all, and she listed a lot of different things. So there's one thing I didn't really agree with that we should be angry about, because I felt like it was one-sided, but I feel like that kind of had me thinking. And I said, but I feel like that's all that we do. We get angry.
We get angry, yeah.
But what do we do beyond that? Do we stay angry for a while, and then something else pops up, and then you get angry about that, and then something else, and it's a cycle, and we don't really do anything. And I think somebody commented and said that we are a reactionary people. We react. Belize reacts to things. And I think that was a very accurate statement.
And instead of reacting, we need to act. Confronting challenges, celebrating triumphs, renewing our resolve. As with that being part of the theme, we can all see what the challenges are. But what can we do about them to make a difference? And anger's not enough. Maybe the passion that's behind the anger could help move somebody to act. But it's going to take some consistent action, not just periodic anger, to really make a difference.
And I understood where she was coming from. And I think a lot of people are commenting and sharing it, which is good, but I want to encourage those same people to, okay, what are you going to do? Are you angry enough to do something? Or is it just another thing where we vent on social media, and when it's time to actually do something, will you show up to do it? It's easy to share a post.
Yeah.
It's easy to comment on a post.
Right.
But I don't think that will change our country.
No.
So it will start a dialogue.
It can
but
start, yeah.
it can start something, but it will have to move past the social media part, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
how does that, how does reading something like that change you or change the way you think? How does it impact you?
you're referring to the article?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have to pull that article back up.
I have to scroll.
Yeah.
You know, because it made me think about the different types of injustice. And she listed the things, you know, like you were saying there was something you didn't agree with, but she listed the things that were important to her.
Yeah.
If I was going to talk about the things that are important to me, the things that I want people to be angry over, or the things that maybe I'm not angry enough about, you know, my issue is injustice. I don't like seeing injustice anywhere. I don't like exploitation. I don't like abuse. Those are the issues that touch my heart.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I'm kind of jumping the gun.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think about that on social media. It's so easy to just react and type your little response. But what are you going to do about it? What, you know, think a little deeper.
Yeah. When I read it, I think what stood out to me was a question to myself more. Why am I not angry enough?
Okay.
Why is it that I'm okay with being in the background?
Yeah.
And thinking of all the different things that she listed, maybe upset, but not angry enough to actually do something. And I think that was what she was trying to spur people on to think about, like, why are you not angry enough?
Yeah.
And it's true. I think myself included, we live in a world where we're just kind of complacent. It's, oh yeah, that is so unfortunate. I can't believe she did that, or I can't believe he did that. But it's not enough to cause us to want to do something.
Right.
And I think it caused me to question myself and the things that I stand for, and am I angry enough to do something about it?
Yeah.
So
those are good questions.
Yeah. So I'm checking to see if we are on
Facebook Live?
Facebook. I'm not sure. I guess we are, because we're getting comments. Watching from Buffalo, New York, Canada border. Another person said, women get overlooked and called crazy in Belize when they get angry. Miss Arindra knows she was cheated and Miss Moya vilified. A shame on both sides. So that is comments from those people watching on Facebook.
Great. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for letting us know what you're thinking and how you're feeling about what's going on. Because like I said, it's all about perspective. Everybody has, you know, a perspective that they're viewing this from. So we really can't argue.
Yeah.
You know, I can respect your right to feel the way you feel.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I think was missing from some of the dialogue that I saw. You know, everybody gets firmly entrenched in their belief, and they want to prove that their side is right, you know, instead of listening to what the other person has to say.
And that's the thing that I wanted to say too before we jump into some of the ways that we had. The thing is that not everything you read on social media is true. It's not. And just because and I posted this a while back, just because somebody posted their opinion or feelings about something does not make it true.
Right.
You need to find out the facts.
Yes.
You know, and I have been upset at posts where I've seen people will write and they will blast somebody on Facebook or blast an organization or a company or whatever, but that was just their feelings or their opinions. Is that the truth? Is that what really happened? And people kind of take it for gospel.
Yes.
It's not.
And it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to take a break.
Okay.
Cyrilla, make sure we stay calm today. So we will take a break on that, and we want to continue. We want to welcome the discussion. So feel free to comment on our Facebook page, send us a text, give us a call. We would love to hear from you today. So we'll be right back.
From the company who brought you Buendia freeze-dried coffee, Gris 100% pure Colombian coffee is made in Colombia, considered among the finest coffee regions around the world. Naturally freeze-dried, Gris 100% pure Colombian coffee is exposed to less heat than other coffee brands to preserve the flavor and aroma to make the perfectly convenient cup of coffee you deserve. Have a buenos dias with Gris.
Recipes, go to gracerecipes.com. It's time for Grace. Grace, bringing good taste to life. Looking for quick and easy baking? Try Grace Baking Powder. It comes in a convenient 10-gram packet. Grace Baking Powder. Great for my pancakes, waffles, fry jack, flour tortillas, muffins, waffles. Wow! How quick and easy. Grace Baking Powder. So convenient, easy to store. You love it. It's good enough and fresh whenever you need it. Another fine product brought to you by Grace. Recipes, go to gracerecipes.com. It's time for Grace. Grace, bringing good taste to life.
Welcome back to Life Uncommon. We are live here in the studio at Plus TV, and just starting our discussion about things that took place over the weekend and about celebrating here in September, and trying to look at some of the things that you have to say. I know you've got some comments?
No, I'm just refreshing to make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't see what was written, but what did you read about how women get angry?
Yeah, she was saying how when women get angry, they are called crazy and something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, my phone is acting up a little bit.
Yeah, and
here.
I can't get mine to.
The women get overlooked and called crazy in belief when they get angry. That's what she said.
Well, that's a universal thing, because it happens. It's happened no matter where I've lived in the world, and especially when things play out in social media, when things play out, and it seems like the angrier we get, sometimes we don't know exactly how to act. So it is easy to just call somebody crazy. You know.
I've called people crazy all the time. And I've made comments, and I've made comments too about women drivers, you know. If I see somebody driving crazy, I said, I must want a lady to drive. I've done that.
Well, and I always, whenever I'm watching like a reality TV show and especially if there's a black woman, I'm like, Lord, please don't let her get angry. Please don't let her get angry. We don't need another angry black woman yelling on TV.
So we've all made comments and said stuff like that. And it's true, but what is how you display that anger? And I think when you put pride and anger together, it's an explosion. It's very, very messy.
Yeah.
And that is what I think happens a lot of times, and what I think has happened in the past and recently, where we see that combination there, and it's very messy. So it's not wrong to be angry, but it's how you deal with that anger. And being angry does not mean that you go around breaking stuff. And cussing out people, and I don't know.
Or flipping off the other driver, or things. I won't confess all my sins, but
we'll pray for Alida. But it's true, and I've I think most of my unpleasant experiences has been from women or with the women involved. And it's always sad to me because we talk so much about empowering each other and lifting up each other, but yet we are so mean and hurtful and hateful towards each other. That is always something that bothers me all the time when I see how we behave with each other.
And I think sometimes that happens because it, whatever the issue is, it touches on a nerve or an old wound that hasn't fully healed. So we're not just reacting to what's happening right now, we're reacting to what happened in the past. So that's one of the questions that when I'm calm, I can ask myself, now what happened to her that's made her so angry or made her so hateful or made her act this way? What happened to her? What happened to him? What happened to that child? And so.
Women should be at the Prime Minister's office demanding justice for Marisol. Justice for Marisol and all the other women.
All the others.
That I feel it, and I'm not taking away from what happened to Marisol at all. She is just, I think, the face of
the problem.
Of the problem. You said it right. Of the problem, and all the other women who are, facing so many injustice or so much injustice in this country. So, we shouldn't back down from demanding that, not just for her, for all the other women, for the children, for all human beings, I feel like, who are suffering because of injustice.
And I'm glad you said that, Andrea, because, I understand that what happened on Sunday is a big issue, and a lot of people are talking about it. But there are a lot of things happening in this country. Just like the senator's post indicated, there are a lot of things to be angry over in this country. And the way women get treated is not a good thing. The way children get treated is not a good thing. And women and children make up a large portion of the population of this country, and we need to be angry, but in a good way, and angry in a way that brings about change. Not just angry in a way that allows us to vent our frustration.
And the thing is that, like you said, every day there are children who are being mistreated. I mean, who still remembers failing?
Yes, exactly.
Who still remembers what happened to that poor girl? There's many more children in that same situation.
Exactly.
She wasn't a Belizean, but she's a child that lived in this country, and we should care about her as much as the other children who are living here in this country. And the women who are being abused on a daily basis who cannot get a raise because they're a woman, who will not get promoted because they're a woman. All these different things happen on a daily basis.
Or maybe who won't even get elected because they're a woman.
Exactly. We have seen how that has played out. For sure. So I think it is time for us to get angry, but what will we do with that? Will we just go on Facebook and blast somebody, or will we ask ourselves a hard question?
Yes.
And one of the ways that we are talking about, Alida and I were talking about, what can we do then? What is it? And one of the things that jumped out to me right away, Alida, was listen. Being able to listen to understand what somebody is saying instead of just whatever, and then you answer. You listen to respond.
That's what I was going to say. And so many of us do that. We don't listen so that we can understand. We listen so that we can respond. We're waiting for you to take a breath, waiting for the other person to take a breath, so we can jump in and say what we want to say. You know? And sometimes we even do that with the questions that we ask. We're only asking so that we can get the answer or say the answer that we want to bring up. But listening is vital. Listening to understand is so important, because if you don't understand or don't want to understand where the other person is coming from, then how can we resolve whatever the issue is?
Yeah. And that works for marriages too.
Yes, it does.
You know?
In families and marriages.
Yeah, because it is very important. Sometimes people just want to be heard.
Yes.
You know, and I have gotten upset because of something maybe my husband said and I heard it differently.
Yes.
And then when he said, well, this is what I really meant.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, that makes sense. And so that is the thing that I think all of us, even on social media, try to understand where that person is coming from. And if you don't get it, ask. You know, and you could inbox people too. You don't have to, you don't have to be all like being so mean and rude, because I honestly have formed opinions of people based on how they behave on social media.
On social media, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I want to hang out with that type of person, the way they behave on social media. So it's very important, even in this time where so many things is going on, is to be able to listen, to understand.
Yeah. And I always appreciate when I see things on social media. I always appreciate when maybe a controversial question gets asked, and the person will say, well, I inboxed you. You know, it's like, oh, well, that was a good way, a diplomatic way to handle that situation. You know, instead of, because especially if your answer is just going to blast somebody else or make the situation blow up even more, do it in the inbox. There's no reason to put that out there in public.
Exactly. And this went to the second one that I had about respect. And I wrote this down and I almost erased it. I was borrowing my son's pencil and my pen. And I almost erased it because I realized that it's not always true for me. And it's respecting other people and their beliefs. Just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean that person isn't worthy of respect. And I was writing this based on, you know, that point in the article about the human rights thing. Because I feel like a lot of people will say, oh, well, you know, you're this and you're that. But if my view is different from yours, I get called names and all kinds of stuff. And I'm not treated with respect. And so I was writing it from that point, and then I said, well, I am not living this out because I have in the past, and I can name people that I don't really respect or want to give respect to because I don't agree. Or, you know, what are you talking about kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that person isn't worthy of respect just because we disagree. And I feel like that is what is tearing apart the nation too, because we are unable to respect each other. We may disagree, but that doesn't mean that we can't be civil. You know, and what happens is that when we have a difference in opinion or beliefs, name calling starts and all kind of thing, and and there's a breakdown and a huge divide. And so this one really had me thinking about the way I behave towards people who don't agree with me necessarily. So.
And that's a really good point, because I know I'm guilty of it too, basing my opinion of someone on something I've seen or something I've heard or something I've read, and then that makes you walk away saying, well, I can't stand that person, or I don't like her, or I don't, you know, but I don't even know that person. So how can I say if I like them or don't like them, because I don't know them. I don't like what they said. I don't like how they said it. I don't like, you know, the way that person is behaving, but I can't attach it all to the individual as a human being. You know, that person is still, like you said, worthy of respect because they're a living, breathing human being. And so I can disagree with the words, I can disagree with the actions that they've taken, and I can not like those things, but I still need to be respectful in how I treat that person and with my attitude about that person.
And so this was a wake-up call for me, and I'm glad that I literally erased it and then I wrote it over.
Good for you.
Because this is how change will come in our country. When we can ask ourselves a hard question and Alida and I don't want to sit here in front of these cameras and say something that we're not willing to live out,
Right.
or we're not willing to do.
Right.
And so I wanted to scrap the whole thing, and then I said, no, I have to put it because it is very, very important, and I see that this plays out so many times.
It does.
So,
It
yeah.
does. And I can feel it. You know, is it time for us to take a break?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to take a break. You can. I hope that you all are getting something out of this discussion, because it's really it's opening my mind and opening my eyes as well. So let's take a break, and we'll come right back.
From the company who brought you Buen Dia freeze-dried coffee, Gris 100% pure Colombian coffee is made in Colombia, considered among the finest coffee regions around the world. Naturally freeze-dried, Gris 100% pure Colombian coffee is exposed to less heat than other coffee brands to preserve the flavor and aroma to make the perfectly convenient cup of coffee you deserve. Have a buenos dias with Gris.
Recipes, go to gracerecipes.com. It's time for Grace. Grace, bringing good taste to life. Looking for quick and easy baking? Try Grace Baking Powder. It comes in a convenient 10-gram packet. Grace Baking Powder. Great for my pancakes, waffles, fry jack, flour tortillas, muffins, waffles. Wow! How quick and easy. Grace Baking Powder. So convenient, easy to store. You love it. It's good enough and fresh whenever you need it. Another fine product brought to you by Grace. For recipes, go to gracerecipes.com. It's time for Grace. Grace, bringing good taste to life.
Belize, it's the second annual Grace Week Here Sweepstakes and your big chance to win a fabulous kitchen makeover. And we mean makeover with a brand new Whirlpool refrigerator.
Turn ordinary into delicious with Grace Salad Cream. Make Grace Salad Cream a part of your recipes, in your Sunday meals, or use every single day. Try it in a sandwich or in eggs. After all, Grace Salad Cream is another fine product from Grace. For recipes, go to gracerecipes.com. Grace, bringing good taste to life.
From generation to generation.
Bringing good taste to life.
Welcome back, everybody, to Life Uncommon. We are here live in the studios of Plus TV. I am here joined with my co-host Alida Sharp, and we are having an open discussion today. And we want you guys to text us and to let us know what you're thinking about what we're talking about. And
I can't turn it off.
we are trying to pulling up our live video on Facebook, so that's what you are hearing just now. Yeah, so we want you guys to text in or to comment live on our Facebook page and let us know your thoughts. We're talking about ways that we can make a difference in our community, in our country. And two of the things that we were touching on before we went to break is listen to understand and to respect other people. Mm-hmm. So, do you have one that you want to share now, Alida?
Yeah, I do. And we kind of touched on it earlier. I think it's important to ask questions. Mm-hmm. Ask questions so that you can gain better understanding about what it is that's going on. Because you know, so often we just go off of one person's opinion or one thing that we read.
Yeah.
But there may be other people that you need to ask, or you may just need to do some research.
Yeah.
On a particular topic. See when else this has come up, or if this has ever touched it or affected anybody else's life.
Yep.
Ask some questions about it.
Yeah.
You know, I said earlier that social justice or injustice is important to me. So even understanding what that word means.
Yeah.
You know, asking questions. You had looked up. You said you looked up the word triumph this morning.
Yeah. A great victory or achievement.
Yeah.
Achieve a victory. Be successful. That's what the meaning of triumph is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think it's important to ask those kinds of questions to gain greater knowledge so that when you do speak or when you do act, you're doing it from a point of having some information behind you and not just going on emotion, but going on facts, going on what's actually true, instead of just off of the emotions and the fire and the passion of the moment.
Yep. There's a verse that is a good there I was thinking about this morning's topic and what we are going to talk about, and thinking about ways that we can make a difference, and I realized there's so much ways, so much truth, advice, points, tips, whatever you want to call it, in the Bible.
Yes.
God has laid it out for us.
Yes.
And there's one that talks about to be quick to listen or quick and slow to speak, slow to anger. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And so we do have to be able to ask the questions, and sometimes it ties in, I feel like, with listening to understand, because sometimes we kind of just jump out the gate and we don't take the time to really find out what's going on.
Yeah.
So those are things that requires us to take a breath, to step back before we rush to judgment or rush to say something that you can't really take back. You can't delete your comment, but it's there. Like, so many people probably saw it before. You know, maybe somebody screenshot it. It's there. We always say, once you put it out there, it's out there. So.
And just like, you know, with a tube of toothpaste, once you squeeze it out, you can't put it back in. It's out there. It's out there.
I try my best to not rush and post things because I don't want to get in trouble. And take it back. And I mean, saying sorry is not the easiest thing to do. And when you hurt somebody, you can say sorry and apologize, but that person will still feel the sting of that for a while, you know? So it's better if you take your time, kind of step back.
Well, and I think too, we also need to think about how it reflects on the people around us, on maybe the company we work for, or the church we represent, or whatever, because it does have an impact on those things. You know, you need to recognize who you are, and if you're just blasting and venting, you are going to get called out on that. You know, people will say, I thought she was a Christian, and look at how she's behaving. I thought this. Well, I thought he was a professional, and look at how he's behaving. You know, I think there was another controversial post or something getting angry about. There was a police officer that made a comment, and he had to take that post down. You know, you need to think about that when you're putting yourself out there. You know, who are you representing in that moment? You know,
and don't allow the best anger to get the best of you and to taint your reputation. Because once you put it there, it will, if it's a positive thing, it will be positive. But it can be negative too. And I feel like there's so much tension, so much stuff happening, and we're not really thinking clearly, I feel like sometimes, and we just say things and behave. And I have to go back though to what you were saying about you say you're a Christian and you behave that way or whatever. That bugs me.
I know.
that is, that will make me not want to behave like a Christian. That makes me so upset because I'm like, and what about you? Okay, so you know how a Christian should behave. What about you? How should you be behaving then? I can't stand that. We're all human beings. I don't go around telling an alcoholic that Oh, and that's why you say, alcoholic, you need to drink more. I don't go around correcting people and telling them that, and sometimes it's a weak moment. Sometimes people get you off guard, you're having a bad day, and you slip. And I think it's people are right there quick to say, and you say that, Christian, but I don't hear them telling other people, and you say, you're that this, or you're that that. You don't really hear that. So that, anyways, moving on. I don't like that comment at all. It drives me nuts.
That mashed your corns.
Mashed my can, yes. And I've had my moments, trust me. Sometimes I want to duck and hide.
But I've had that happen too. I still remember when one of my kids, my youngest, when he was running through the church, and I yelled at him to stop running. And this woman was talking to another gal, and they were standing there going, and she was like, and I thought she was the pastor's wife. And she's yelling, and I just looked at her and I said, and if I hadn't yelled at him, he wouldn't have heard me, and he would have run into the wall.
Exactly.
Because my youngest son has a birth defect in his eye, doesn't have peripheral vision, doesn't have depth perception, so he couldn't see how close he was to the wall. So I yelled at him to stop. So for her to judge my behavior without all the facts, was hurtful. But how we handle things sometimes really does reflect back, because she's talking about my husband now.
Oh yeah.
He's a pastor, and look at his wife.
Don't go there. Talk about my husband. Yeah, that's true. One time I blew my horn at somebody because they were reversing and not. I don't know if they didn't see me behind them, but I made sure they knew I was behind them. And I blew my horn, and this man was standing on the side, and so you say that Christian, and I was like, excuse me. Yeah, I gave him the not Christian eye. Try for me.
No, maybe it was some righteous indignation. Maybe, I don't know. So it comes with the territory.
Yes, I guess when you are on TV or you are in the spotlight, you have more people watching you, and so it is important that we do live our lives in a certain way that reflects who we serve, and that has been something that I've been really thinking about a lot. And there's a verse that I found that I wanted to talk about too, where it says that, I'm just going to read a thing that jumped out at me.
Okay.
It says, therefore, as you have received Christ Jesus, the Lord, walk in union with him, reflecting his character in the things you do and say, living lives that lead others away from sin. This is the Amplified version in Colossians 2. And when I read that, I questioned. I said, am I living a life? Am I reflecting Christ in what I do and what I say? And not always, because sometimes I want to beat up people.
You like to fight.
But it is something that I'm working on. And every day, that is my desire, to reflect Christ in what I do and what I say. And I think that is a question that we all need to ask ourselves. What are we reflecting?
Right.
Even if you don't consider yourself a Christian, what are you reflecting on a daily basis with the things that you do and say?
Right. Yeah, because whether you're a Christian or not, as a mature, responsible human being, you do need to reflect on your own attitude and actions, and think about what it is you're putting out there into the world. That's important, because how we behave determines how other people treat us, and it adds to our reputation, and we need to think about those things. Yeah. I think another break.
All right. So we'll take, I think this is our final break, and we will come back and wrap up the show for today. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. If there is something you wanted to say, now is the time to send in your text or comment on our Facebook page. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Top it off with Grace tomato ketchup. Top it off with Grace tomato ketchup. I like it on my hot burger and fries. Grace tomato ketchup, it's a taste I cannot deny. Grace tomato ketchup, I like it on my fish and chips, on fried chicken strips. So good you lick your lips. Grace tomato ketchup, I like it on my rice and beans, on my sandwiches, almost on everything. Grace tomato ketchup.
Desde Colombia y de la compañía que produjo Café Buen Día, presentamos Grease 100% puro café colombiano, elaborado en una de las mejores regiones cafetaleras del mundo. Grease 100% puro café colombiano es liofilizado para mantener y preservar el delicado sabor y aroma del puro café colombiano. Grease 100% puro café colombiano, la combinación perfecta para la taza de café que solo tú mereces. Buenos días con Grace, 100% puro café colombiano.
Para recetas, visita gracerecetas.com. Es el momento para Grace.
Welcome back to Life Uncommon. We are live here in the studio, and we have been having a very passionate discussion. And we are grateful to have some texts coming in and to have you all contributing to this conversation as well.
So this person says, hi, good morning. Great topic. I really enjoy. Thank you. I'm happy to see you, Miss Alida. I am watching. Have a blessed day from Miss Radiant.
Oh, thank you, Miss Radiance.
Yeah. I think that's it for, those two that came in.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So there's two more things that we wanted to touch on.
Yeah. And I think it's really good as different issues come up, or if you find yourself getting angry or frustrated or sad over something that's happened, choose an issue. Choose an issue that's important to you, that you do want to apply some of these things that we've talked about. You know, we talked about listening to understand or read to understand. Choose an issue and listen to what people are saying about it. Choose an issue and ask more questions about it. Figure out what it is that you think about that particular issue. I know when different things come up in my life or in my family, when I get slapped in the face by something that's controversial, I have to stop and think, okay, what is it I believe about this?
Yeah.
Why is this upsetting me? Why is this making me so frustrated? How come every time I hear about this, I feel a certain way about it? You know, ask yourself some questions. Choose your issue that you want to focus on.
Yeah. I'm going to add to that. Because it is very true. I feel like there's always things that's going to pop up, but we do need to ask ourselves, what is it that I'm passionate about? I think that is a good one that we should all start asking ourselves, you know, about and do something about that. You know, there's other things, that will pop up that you could say something about or contribute or to do something, but you need to know what you stand for.
Right.
What is it that you want people to remember that you stood for?
Right.
You know, so pick something.
Pick something.
Don't be here and there and everywhere.
And I think that the choose an issue that's important to you, for me it goes along with this final one, the number 5. Did we actually do 5?
I don't know. We were all over the place.
We were all over the place, but I have check marked 4. So
Okay.
we did, this is number 5, volunteer. Once you've chosen that issue that's important to you, volunteer or get involved in some way. And I think, we may not always practice everything we preach, but I think you and I have both done well in this area.
Yeah.
You've got an issue that's important to you. I've got an issue that's important to me, and we both volunteer for organizations that stand for those issues.
Yeah.
The work I've been doing at the Child Development Foundation for the past 6 years now, has it's all because of an issue that I am very passionate about, which is child abuse and exploitation of children and of women. And so that's something that I've dedicated my time here in Belize to focusing on that issue, and I think that each one of us can do something like that, whether it's in a big way or in a small way. I know at CDF, even having someone come and volunteer to help with registration at one of our events, or volunteer to help, in any way, it makes a difference, because we can't do the event without the volunteers. And I know that there are probably NGOs and different organizations all across this country that could say that. They need volunteers. They need people to help.
So it's true, and that is a good way to put your, what do you call it?
Your money where
your mouth is, type of thing, right? Find something. There's many organizations that you could contribute to. If you don't have the time, maybe you have some money, maybe you have other things that you can help with. I do volunteer at Hope for Life. It's a pregnancy help center here in Belmopan, where we help women who find themselves in unintended pregnancies and they really need some support and help. And I volunteer my time there because I am passionate. I am a proud pro-life person. I'm a pro-lifer, pro-love person. I feel like all human beings, I think, and we should not be, I call it murder. And anyways, that's a different topic.
That's a different topic.
But anyways, we should value life in the womb and outside the womb is what I'm going to say. And so because I'm passionate about valuing life inside the womb and outside of the womb, I volunteer there because I can help to make a difference to somebody who may be undecided.
Right.
So that's what we do. And I want to encourage you guys who are watching to find something that you're passionate about as well, and to volunteer or to do something. Just don't think that there's nothing you can do. Find out what you can do. Even if it's stuffing envelopes, if they have newsletters they have to mail out. Maybe you're good at graphic designing, or you're good at editing. Maybe you're a cook and you can donate meals to even our organization. We want to give moms, meals when they come by. You can donate. So there's something you can do. You just have to ask yourself that question and find out more about what's happening in your community.
Exactly. And I know that there are some great people that are volunteering in different places around this country. One of the people that commented this morning, Miss Radiance, she has a feeding program where she's feeding children in her village. They're in Unitedville, and those it may sound like a small thing, but that makes a huge impact in the life of a child. And you can do that in so many different ways. Whatever your resources or talents or gifts will allow you to do, just do it.
Stop talk and put
do
some action and do. I was looking up, the theme. The first one was confronting challenges. Confront is an action word. It's face up and deal with a problem or a difficult situation is one of the definitions I found. And so that is what we have to do. Literally, I feel like we have to start dealing with these difficult situations, and one of them is by starting a dialogue, and then after that is personally asking yourself how can we do this? If you are aware of a difficult situation, then what can you do about it? And one of the other things too that bugs me, Alida, with that I've seen play over and over, people need to realize that we can no longer say weed a red or weed a blue
Yes.
or weed a yellow or whatever. We have to stop just being divided by
Right.
party colors
Right.
and really look at what we want for this country
Right.
and who are the right persons that will bring this country to move it forward. And I think so many times people make wrong decisions or elect the wrong person because we're so caught up with the colors, well, either this or either that.
Yes.
And I want to encourage people to ask yourself the tough questions. Is that person that is running for your color, is that person the right person for your constituency? You know, will that person do the right thing? So we do have to start looking at all of these things combined in order for us to see change happen in our community and in our country. Belize is small.
Yes.
So
Yeah. And I was just thinking as you were talking, Andrea, that it's not just acting that we need to do. Action by itself is not what's going to bring about change.
Yeah.
It's actions that will help.
Yes.
Actions that will make a positive difference in your home, your community, your village,
Yeah.
and then it ripples out
Yes.
into changing the country.
Yeah.
So we need actions that are positive that will help
Yeah.
bring about the transformation.
Yeah.
So that we have something to celebrate. So that we've got some triumphs to be proud of.
Yeah.
You know.
As you said that just the other day, I saw a man that I know, he's not a friend, but I know
Okay.
him. And he's walking down the walkway here in Belmopan, and there was a plastic bottle thrown on the side of the walkway. He's an older man, and he bent over with some difficulty, and
Yeah.
he picked up that bottle and he took it with him. And I told my husband, that's a real Belmopan,
Yes.
Belmopanese person, because he cares still about this city, and and even something as small as that
Yes.
spoke volumes
Yes.
to me,
Yes.
because that is what we need. We need
Exactly.
people who will care about even a piece of garbage on the
Yeah.
ground. And I know of several people that I see them, they will stop and they will pick up garbage
Yeah.
and stuff because they want the city to look good.
Right,
You know,
right.
the one guy talks about how everybody should keep the front of their yard clean. That is in front of your
In
yard.
front of
Yes,
your
it
yard,
might be
yeah.
that city council is supposed to cut in front. That is in front of your yard. Take
Yeah.
responsibility for what is in front of you. And so I think if everybody would do that, take responsibility for what's happening in front of your house, your street, it will make it easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so
So,
true.
Cyrilla, we out of time?
And I didn't get to show off my painting.
Okay. Let's quickly share
Yes.
the paintings that we have here today, if we can. Could show Alida's
Yeah,
one.
and I'm so excited about this. This was painted by my little friend Zyra. And I was thinking about that with all of the chaos, with everything that's happening, in the States, and people are sending money for this or sending money for that. There are some people right here in Belize that are raising money for different things, and you may not always feel like, well, I can't talk about that right now because this is happening or that is happening. But I get excited when I can make a difference or do something to help somebody. And I know that Zyra's trying to raise money to go to
Yeah,
Dance,
to Dance Revolution, yeah.
Yeah, and so when she painted this, I thought, well, I want to buy that, because that can help her get there. So
Yeah.
if there are children or if there are people in your life that you can help out by making donations or by supporting
Yeah.
your fellow Belizean or neighbor or whoever, do that. Do
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah. So Zyra is 6 years old. She's my baby, and she loves to paint. She loves to dance, and she's attending a dance convention in Florida in November. And Zaira and I are raising funds for her to attend. And so she decided to paint these. And she did these all by herself.
Yes.
Nobody helped her at all. She came up with her ideas on her own, everything, and painted these. So they're painted by a 6-year-old.
Yes, and
so
she signed it. I'm just noticing that there's her little signature
she
on
wrote
the
her
back.
name on
So
the back,
I am
and
so
she
excited.
gave them names.
Yes,
So
this is
Alida-
Rainbow Sky.
Yes, Alida has a rainbow sky, and this one that is in front of me is called Gazebo Land, and this one is for sale. So if you would like to make a contribution of $25, it can be yours.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay, so we need
I
to
think
go.
we're done for today. I want to leave you guys with a verse that I think speaks volumes. It's from Micah 6:8, and it says, "What does God require of you? He has told you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? Except to be just, and to love, and to diligently practice kindness, and to walk humbly with your God, setting aside any overblown sense of importance or self-righteousness."
Yes.
That's on the Amplified Version.
I
The
love
NIV
that.
has it a little bit shorter. But to sum it up, it's act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. And I think that is a
Amen.
powerful verse that we can end off with.
Yes, yes. Well, we do want to say thank you to Grace Kennedy Belize. Thank you so much, Cirillo, and thank you, Denmark, for the hard work you guys put in today. And thank you to everybody that's watching. Thank you to all of you that made your comments. We couldn't do this show without you. So thank you all for watching, and tune in next week.
Yes. We'll be back then.
We'll be back.